Welcome back, and in last week's vlog we took 3 days to drive down to Lake Garda in Italy, where we managed to squeeze onto the last available pitch in Camping Brodi in Torbole on the northern shore of the lake. This week we move sites, then settle into full exploring mode using only public transport. We are treated to a free local fireworks display, visit several lakeside towns, and of course sample real Italian cuisine, followed by cappuccinos. Riki embraces Italian fashion.
Don't know what you're thinking.
And we face our fear of heights to bring you possibly the best views of Lake Garda. If we make it home in one piece, it will be a miracle.
So we've just come down to have a very quick look at the lake, as we have driven the best part of 1,700 kilometres to get here. So before Dora gets dinner on, because I've been hard at it all day, we thought we'd come have a quick look, didn't we?
We did, and it's very beautiful.
Even in this very, very dim light, you can see just how clear that water is. We headed back for a good night's sleep, then I was up early in the morning and put the drone up to check out how busy the nearby campsites were. By the time Dora was up, I'd secured us a pitch at the campsite next door. We picked up a hitchhiker for part of the journey. Good morning from Lake Garda. We are literally next door to where we stayed last night. We could only get one night on that site, so I've had a wander around, got us a pitch, not the one I wanted. We've shoehorned it on, haven't we? We are at an angle. We're at a bit of an angle to get on, but we're on. We've got 3 nights here, so we can proper chill out now and go and explore the area. Also we've been to Lidl as well and got all the essentials. Tiramisu, some coffee. Tiramisu ice cream. So we are set up. We just need to go and explore now. Where are you taking me? Riva del Garda. Riva del Garda. Riva del Garda. Riva del Garda. The sun is out. What more could we want?
It's around 3 kilometres from the campsite to Riva del Garda, so we thought rather than take the bus, we would walk around the beautiful shoreline.
So because we're absolute athletes, we've decided to walk next to a road, obviously, hence the noise. But it's not a bad view, truth be told, so I can think of worse walks.
You take your life into your hands with the bikes and scooters that are on this path.
Yes, they do like to cycle, and they do like to cycle fast.
Italians cycle like they drive, with intent. By the time we got there, we were ready for some lunch.
So once again, Dora's taking us down the back streets. What are we in search of?
Gluten-free pizza.
And we are hungry. So we found Dora's pizzeria. Plenty of gluten-free choices. Dora's in her absolute element. I'm not entirely sure what she's going to order. I think probably everything.
I just want to live in this restaurant for the rest of my life and eat here every day. There's so much choice.
I'm just starting on the breadsticks whilst we study the menu. So what's that thing you got your eye on?
Nonna Sandra's chicken. They brought me a specially packed gluten-free bread.
What do you know about the owner and the family?
So, this restaurant has been in this family for 3 generations, I think it was. And Sandra is the owner, just up there. She's in her 80s. So her parents, herself, and then her son, I think it was, run this restaurant. It's been here since the 50s or 60s?
1956.
1956, if you will. So apparently it's one of the biggest restaurants, the busiest restaurants, with the biggest menu in the whole of the area. So it should be good.
Gluten-free for madam. Very much glutinous, so I don't have to share for me. Enjoy. How's pizza?
It's absolutely delicious. I think that's the best pizza I've ever had, ever.
And where did you find this restaurant?
On the Find Me Gluten-Free app. Yeah, I've had the app for years, and we only really use it when we're away, as in overseas. But it's absolutely brilliant this time. Really, really good in France, Germany, and now in Italy.
And to wrap things up, when in Italy, Italian coffee. Now, a holiday wouldn't be a holiday if Dora hadn't found a tat shop look. She's in her element again, because apparently what we need is a genuine Italian fridge magnet. Never knew we needed one.
There was much more than just tat shops to see, trust me. And some olive oil may have been purchased too.
We're going to head back to the van. It's clouded over anyway, because we need to put our feet up.
We do, and we're going to walk back in this very pleasant afternoon wind, and I'm going to drop the name of it at the bottom of the screen, so it's got a special name for the afternoon wind that comes to the lake in the north.
Catch you when we're back at the van. We were just about settling in for the night when we heard some loud bangs. We ventured outside to see a full-on fireworks display being held at Riva del Garda. The fireworks were lighting up the mountains. Good morning and welcome back to Lake Garda. We haven't filmed anything because we've been rushing, and we're still rushing because we think that boat out there is on its way in, and it's what we're trying to board. To be honest, we underpredicted how far away it was to get to board the boat. Just made it in the nick of time. Okay, we bought the ticket.
The reliable winds in the north of Lake Garda make it one of the best windsurfing and sailing spots in Europe. We've just come from all the way at the north end of the lake there, €5 each. Absolute bargain. I'm going to go and find out what Limone is all about. And obviously while I'm here I need to buy some lemons.
Right, Captain.
We arrived in the beautiful town of Limone, a place that feels almost tucked away between the mountains and the lake. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking the name comes from lemons, but actually it comes from the Latin word for boundary. Although, with the lemon trees growing here, you can see why people make the connection. In fact, Limone is one of the northernmost places in the world where lemons grow, thanks to these unique stone terraces called limone, built to protect them from the cooler weather. For years, this town was completely cut off, only reachable by boat or mountain paths, until the road was built along the cliffs in the 1930s.
There's thoughts on Limone?
It's beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
All these typical Italian back streets, and it hasn't disappointed so far. We need to find a waterfront cafe.
For an overpriced coffee.
For an overpriced coffee, yes please.
I need to find some overpriced lemon goods for my souvenir stash. And a fridge magnet.
Unbelievable.
Have you even been if you haven't got a fridge magnet? Let us know in the comments, is it just me who loves a fridge magnet?
So whilst I've been outside observing the natural beauty of this place, I find Dora in her natural environment. What you got?
Okay, so this is the first shop where I've seen the lemon soaps individually for €1 each.
Let me smell it. Lemon.
So I got 4, obviously for €4.
Of course you did.
And then I also managed to get my fridge magnet. So it's a nice flat fridge magnet that I'm not going to break, and also it's shiny.
Well done. Anything else?
No, that's it. Salute!
For Limone del Garda. We've walked up and down, and it's busy. Whilst it's stunningly beautiful, isn't it?
It's very beautiful and it's quite windy, but pleasant.
But very busy. The temperature is spot on. It couldn't be better, but we're hungry. So Dora's jumped onto her favourite reliable app.
Find me gluten-free.
And we found somewhere just along the way. So we're heading there now to see what gluten-free offerings they have. It's got a lot to live up to after yesterday's restaurant.
Yeah, I'm hoping for maybe pasta today, maybe spaghetti carbonara.
Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Where have you brought me?
I've brought you to the restaurant we had coffee in actually earlier. It's just overlooking the lake out there. We're going to have spaghetti carbonara. It would be rude not to.
Fully glutinous, if you will, for all the flavour. Gluten-free, but still hopefully full of flavour. We're ready for this.
Yeah.
After our delicious pasta, we were ready to head home, but the queue from the ferry was huge, so we went our separate way for a further wander around. And I bought Dora a refreshing treat. I want to get a live review. So the first
I've been chewing a wasp.
taste test, go.
Oh, she gets you.
Yep, it does.
Yeah, that's lemon. There's no aid.
How are you feeling about it?
Oh, yeah.
It's got a kick, hasn't it? So whilst I was completely distracted by the lemonade, which Dora doesn't like, so all for me,
You can keep that, it's disgusting.
I failed to spot what's in the bag.
What bag? I've had this ages.
Oh, that's also something you've bought
I've had
today.
this ages.
What's in the yellow bag?
Was it nothing?
Unbelievable. Does it involve lemons?
It does. It's a lemon eau de toilette.
Go
Or
on.
eau de parfum.
Right, so you're going to walk around smelling like a lemon, are you? Wow.
We're on the way back from Limone, and it's very reasonable on the boat. It's very, very busy. You do have to queue up to get on, but it's all right when you're on here. It's just €10 each return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is it's about half an hour.
Very, very good price as well. Very reasonable.
We've been there for about 5.5 hours, which is perfect for a day trip. Just long enough to have a good look round without rushing. And so now we're heading back to Tabole and the motorhome.
Good morning from Lake Garda, from Tabole. We're off on the boat again, but also a cable car ride, aren't we?
Hopefully today will involve a boat, a cable car and whatever else we find. So we're in Malcesine and Dora claims this is what I need. Don't know what you're thinking. I haven't seen it, so yeah. Do I need one of these? What I do need is a coffee. We were supposed to be heading in the direction of a coffee, but now we seem to be trying hats on. I'm not sure that I do need this hat, to be honest. Dora's brought me to a castle. What do you know about the castle?
Built in the first millennium. We need to go and find out more about it.
Okay, you lead the way.
There's also lots of modern art. Nice juxtaposition between the old and the new.
Originally rebuilt around 1300 by the powerful Scaliger family of Verona, this castle has stood guard over the lake for centuries.
Today, the castle is not just a historic landmark, but it's also a museum. There's exhibition space to hold events, and you can even hold a wedding on the terrace. The tower is 31 metres high and has an irregular pentagonal shape and rises about 70 metres above Lake Garda.
Right, so we're about to start the climb to the top of the tower. We don't know how many steps this is going to be.
It's quite a steep climb to the top. I would recommend removing your backpack. You have to twist around, get the backpacks up. But we're here. We're right at the top now, looking back towards Torbole over there, and Limone over there. This afternoon, we're going up there on the cable car. Excited.
Absolutely buzzing. What I'm not excited about though is the queue that we're currently in. I think it goes up another floor as well.
The cable car takes you all the way up to the top of Monte Baldo. That's 1,760 metres in just less than 20 minutes. The cable car is actually in two different sections. You get out at the middle point, walk around and queue to get on to the next car. There's a gorgeous view from there and plenty of photo opportunities. The second cable car section is really special because it gives you an incredible 360-degree view because the cabins actually slowly rotate. At the top of the mountain, you can keep things simple with an easy walk, take in the views, or stop off at one of the mountain huts for some local food. If you're feeling more adventurous, there's a whole network of trails to explore, and just a short walk from the station, you'll even find a paragliding launch point. After a lovely couple of hours on the top of the mountain, it was time to go back down in search of dinner.
I'm not saying this tight, but it's tight. What's going on?
You've made me into a bus.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, because there isn't a bus, and it's late, and we haven't had any lunch, and I'm hungry.
So we've come to the bus stop, deciding not to walk to the next town. Once we get back, we'll get the bus directly there. And like Dora says, there is no bus and she's hungry. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. take it that wasn't our bus then.
I'm sorry?
So we're all stood waiting. Oh, hang on. Hopefully this is a good sign. Our bus is on its way. It's going the wrong way. It's not the one we want, but at least we know buses do exist. Dora's not looking happy still.
I'm hungry.
Right, the excitement is real. We have a bus. I repeat, we have a bus. What are you saying?
Hang on.
Oh, it's not the right bus. This is the right bus coming in now.
Riva del Garda, it's me.
They're quite literally like buses. None at all, two at once.
We're on the bus.
You know what they call those types of people? And we were having an argument whether to get the boat or the bus. Definitely paid off getting the bus.
Well, yes. Except you can't pay by card on the bus. You can only pay through the app by card. So we paid, it should be £3.20 each for this journey, which isn't bad. We've had to pay €4 each, paid on the bus in cash.
Still happy with that?
He's happy because he saved a couple of euros on the price of the boat.
And more importantly, you'll be happy, it's much quicker, which means the risotto o'clock is happening sooner rather than later.
I'm not sure, is that alright? Is that normal? He looks a lot closer in real life, doesn't he, that man? Anyway, I'm just tired and hungry. We've not had any lunch.
Or breakfast.
But we had a raw bar for breakfast. That is not enough. I walked up a mountain.
You went looking for some
Do you know what I feel like?
chicken tonight?
I feel like I'm on one of those coach holidays.
You want what?
I feel like I'm on one of those coach holidays.
Oh yeah, like coach trip on, on Channel 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not because you've got about a mile down the road on a coach.
But this isn't like a... It doesn't feel like a bus, it feels like a coach.
You okay?
I don't think... I'm tired, I'm hungry.
Tell me about it.
It's just had a very nice starter.
And what has Dorian just told you?
I can't have the risotto after all, so I'm having to have a pizza, but I'll live with that.
Which is not ideal as we've travelled specifically, but it will be lovely anyway.
I'm so hungry, I'll eat my own arm at the moment. We had thought on our first visit that this was a gluten-free option. And this isn't just any risotto. This is risotto with wild mushrooms, black truffles, in a Parmesan cheese basket, which Riki had, followed by tiramisu.
So we've had a lovely meal. The bus has stopped at 8:30, so I think we previously mentioned we were walking back. It's only 1.5 miles.
No, it was 1.5 miles when I got my maps out. We'd already walked half a mile.
So it's 2 miles. But also you might be wondering why I've got my rucksack on the front, because it is a little bit specialist, but basically all the zip all the way round is completely broken. So I've had to use one of my belts that I purchased earlier, and also put my arm around it like this so that I can actually keep it closed, so not to lose all my goods.
So embarrassing. It's 10:30. We're wandering the streets of Lake Garda like a pair of tourists that have been out of their motorhome for 12 hours. If we make it home in one piece, it will be a miracle.
It's actually 13.5 hours. We left at 9 this morning.
Oh my word. Right, we've avoided the park because that was too scary. We can't avoid this dark, scary bit. And we've got to walk alongside the road for a bit as well through a dark tunnel. So this is fun. Oh, as you can see, it's quite dark.
A classic bit of vlogging material from us.
It's quite dark. We're still alive. Our campsite's over there.
One eternity later.
We made it. What time is it? It's 10:42. We've made it back to our site. Slight issue now that the gate doesn't open past 9 o'clock. I'm going to have to walk all the way around. Oh, joy. Right, we're at the main gate now. Poor Riki. I told you should have gone for a safety wee before we left. That was 45 minutes ago. Actually, almost an hour ago. Here we are. Home sweet home. Thank you for watching, and we do appreciate all of the subscribers, old and new, especially those of you who leave lovely comments. Join us next week for the final part of our Italian tour, where we head to the south of the lake and explore the peninsula of Sirmione. There's also lots of modern art. Nice juxtaposition between the old and the new. Do you know what that means?
What, old and new?
Juxtaposition.
Didn't know you spoke Italian.